Peace, it's Equality Fragrances coming to you from PG County, Maryland. Welcome to my cipher. A cipher is a person, place, a thing within my circumference understanding of my cipher. It's peace. For all those new to the channel and those who have been supporting me since day one, I humbly appreciate all your likes, comment, and shares in order to make the cipher grow. Now, as you can see, I'm doing this video on the couch, and you're probably asking why didn't I do it in the fragrance room like I asked yesterday. And I have an answer for that, and that's because I recorded this video already and it just didn't feel right. It felt like I was trying too hard to be other people. It didn't feel as personal. You know, when I'm sitting on the couch, I'm nothing but your cousin, your brother. I could be your father sitting on the couch, just talking to you one-on-one about fragrances that I love, what I think about them, and what I recommend them. I don't want it to be this big commercial thing where because I have fragrance in the back, somehow that legitimizes what I'm saying, like it's more truthful or less truthful. And that's no shot at nobody who has fragrances behind them. It's just not my cup of tea, to be totally honest. Now, I also need to work on the lighting down there. I played around with it and I couldn't stand the overall product of the lighting. It seemed cheap. So when I get some new lights, I might revisit that option. But until then, this is what y'all gonna get. So come on in, sit down, and let's build. Today, I'm gonna be giving you my top patchoulis within my collection. I believe it's gonna be 15 that I'm gonna give you. So I'm gonna try to be really quick on these. These are patchoulis I love. I'm ranking them. I enjoy them all. Patchouli, for those who might be new, patchouli is a funny fragrance, which that's why I love it. It's sort of like the amber experience, where amber can be really smoky, resinous, vanillic. It goes in different ways. Patchouli can be really green. It can be really earthy, dirty. It can be extremely resinous. It's oftentimes compared with some sort of oriental base, or ambery base. So that's what makes patchouli what it is. So well, I'm gonna talk about some of these patchoulis. I'll tell you if something is, because some of these are more wearable that I would, if a first time person asked to buy, I would say yes. And then some of these I say you need to have experience with patchouli. You need to have experience within the fragrance game. And these are mature fragrances. If you're in your 20s, I don't really see you wanting to wear these. I mean, wear what you want. There might be a few you can wear. But overall, to a young lady you're trying to meet, you're probably gonna smell like her father and uncles. So I don't know if that's gonna be the kind of mood you're trying to give off, but I love patchouli. Not to belabor the point, let's start off the show. Starting in at number 15 is an affordable fragrance. It's coming from the house of Molinard, and this is Vanille Patchouli. What can I say about this fragrance to quickly explain it? This is a lot of vanilla. It's very creamy because you get sandalwood, it's resinous, it's almost balsamic. And it's a nice, dry, woody patchouli is what I get off of this fragrance on my skin. Pretty good longevity. It's extremely cozy, warm, and comforting. If you're somebody who's not that experienced with patchouli, this is one that I could recommend, especially if you like the note of vanilla. Number 15, Molinard Vanille Patchouli. Coming in at number 14 is a fragrance I absolutely love. Unfortunately, I don't think it was better than the other 13. And that comes from the house of Van Cleef Arpels, and that's Moonlight Patchouli. Now, people love rose oud fragrances, but rose patchouli fragrances are even better in my most humble opinion. You're gonna get a nice fruity rose, buttery suede, beautiful iris note. And if you into the Dior home line and you like that, you're gonna get that lipsticky vibe here, but it's done to absolute perfection. And you get a nice dry yet green patchouli and some cacao. So it's a little chocolatey, fruity, rosy, green, woody, suede fragrance. Absolutely stunner. I get pretty good performance out of here, about 6-7 hours on this. Perfect for date nights. It's safe enough for office wear, for season weather, could be signature scent. It just works. It's not going to be a room filler, but leaves a beautiful CR. Coming in at number 14, Van Cleef Arpels Moonlight Patchouli. Coming in number 13, comes from the house of Tiziana Terenzi, and that's Maremma. Now, if you like Tom Ford's Black Orchid, but that may be a little too feminine for you, so you kind of like, this is a more masculine take on that particular fragrance. What you get with this is a beautiful honey accord drizzled on almost damp green patchouli. It's woody, ambery, and there's a leathery nuance, which I believe comes from the labdanum in here. So it's green, ambery, leathery, patchouli, chocolatey as well, because cacao's in here. Great, great, great fragrance. Perfect for date nights, night outs. Anytime you just want to have your grown sexy, you can dress this up. Most people would say dress this up, but you know my motto, wear it whenever you want to, how you want to wear it. But for me, this is just a good one. Coming in at number 13, from the house of Tiziana Terenzi, Maremma. Coming in at number 12 is a clone. You hear that? It's the sound of fragrance purists jumping off a bridge right now. Yes, it's a clone. I don't care. That comes from the house of Armaf, and that's Club de Nuit Intense Woman. Yes, the bottle's tacky, but the juice inside is phenomenal. This is a clone of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. What you get is a nice chocolatey patchouli. So you get this spicy saffron, peppery, nutmeg, rose fragrance. It's dry. This is woody, mixed in with a chocolatey, woody patchouli. Nice resinous base with the amber. There's some oud in here, but it's a wearable oud. Beautiful fragrance. Now, this screams date night all the way. This will make my Valentine's Day list. Would I punt this off on somebody just getting into patchouli? Yeah, probably not. I would tell them to sample a little bit, especially if they also are not into rose yet. Yeah, I wouldn't punt this off on them. But a beautiful fragrance nonetheless. Compliments. Anyway, coming in at number 12 is Club de Nuit Intense Woman. Coming in at number 11 comes from the house of Tiziana Terenzi, and that's Purpura. What does this smell like? This smells like Frederick Maull's Portrait of a Lady or similar. Now, you get a nice, masculine, dark, gothic, rose, patchouli, incense, some myrrh, some benzoin, some amber, is resinous, chestnuts, some musk, raspberry that go along with the rose. This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. I don't know if it's my favorite rose within my collection, but it's up there. Great date night fragrance, another fragrance that will make my Valentine's Day list. This is a bold statement maker. If you wear this, you're going to get attention. Plain and simple. You cannot wear this and not get attention. It's that bold. So would I recommend this? Yeah, I kind of would recommend this. It's a masculine rose, so I would definitely recommend it. It's extremely wearable. Would I recommend it to somebody in their 20s? Probably not. But a mature person, maybe at least 35 and up, I definitely would. And that's from the house of Tiziana Terenzi, Purpura. Okay, we coming into the top 10. Coming in at number 10 comes from the house of Nishane, and that's Patchouli Kozha. Now, this patchouli is one I'm not recommending to anybody unless you are a patchouli lover. I would never recommend this to somebody trying to get into patchouli. This is honey, beautiful, dark, dry, leathery, incense, smoky patchouli. This is dark. This is cool. This is something I break out on cool weather. A nice leather jacket. This is extremely, and I don't see gender in fragrances, but this is extremely masculine. You hanging out with the guys, this is a good one to wear. Like, it's just, man, beautiful fragrance, but you have to love patchouli to really start diving into this particular fragrance. 10 out of 10 fragrance for me. And that comes from the house of Nishane, and that's Patchouli Kozha. Coming in number 9, also comes from the house of Nishane, and I like this patchouli a little better, and that's Munegu. Now, how can I explain this? This is aromatic. There's a soapy quality to this composition, and I don't know where it's coming from. But the patchouli here is chocolatey, almost fresh, slightly medicinal, spicy, woody aromatic. This is a nice, classy, dressed up, wearable patchouli. Now, would I also recommend this to a person just getting into patchouli? Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Sample everything, really. But this is, you gotta probably like patchouli to like this. Although, if you like fragrances like Diptyque Psychedelique, this is just like it, but it's more aromatic and soapy, if that makes any sense. Anyway, coming in at number 9 is Munegu from Nishane. Coming in at number 8 comes from a house of Kilian. That is Straight to Heaven Extreme. I love this fragrance. I hate it has to be at 8. I mean, I really love this fragrance. What you get is some cedar wood. You get patchouli, dry fruits, rum, vanilla. And it's a little spicy. I think nutmeg might be in here. Oh my goodness. This is grown and sexy right here. Grown and sexy. I wear this year round. I wore it this summer. Absolutely performed like a champ, and it wasn't overbearing. But if you want a cheaper alternative to this with a little bit more power, the other fragrance is Tiziana, Terenzi, Ursa. It smells really close and similar to this, except for this has the addition of leather and it has the addition of oud. This is another gorgeous fragrance. So if I really want to save this bottle, I would say spring and summer I wear more of this, and for fall and winter cooler weather I would definitely yank this out because it's going to push through that. Anyway, coming in at number 8 is Kilian's Straight to Heaven Extreme and Tiziana, Terenzi, Ursa. Coming in at number 7, and I hate to really put this at a number 7 because I don't want people to look at it as it's not really good. This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Matter of fact, all from my top 10, all of those are like 10 out of 10 fragrances. This comes from the house of Christian Dior. Why they are discontinuing this fragrance or have discontinued this fragrance is beyond my realm of understanding. And that's Patchouli Imperial. Now, this fragrance, I would recommend to patchouli. You gotta love patchouli for this. I wouldn't have a first time patchouli wearer trying this out, but you get this green, damp leaf patchouli. Like, think of like a literally like wet leaf, maybe like after the winter as the snow, the wetness on the leaves. I mean, like a dry wet leaf. But it's a greenness to it. It has some smoke in here. It's ambery, it's spicy, some cinnamon. You have that amber and rose combination. Some tonka, sandalwood. Oh my goodness. I hate to really put it at number 7, but I just don't think I can move it up based on what I'm about to tell y'all. But a great fragrance, 10 out of 10 fragrance. If you consider this a masterpiece, I wouldn't say you were wrong. And that comes from the house of Christian Dior, and that's Patchouli Imperial. Coming in at number 6, this fragrance screams elegance. I'm in charge. This is one of my favorite fragrances within my entire collection, period, hands down. This fragrance screams BDE, big dick energy. This is just a confident builder. That comes from the house of YSL, and that is Tuxedo. Date night, dressed up, jeans, t-shirts, it don't matter. Most people will say, well, I only wear fragrances, you know, fragrance like this only deserves to be worn when you really dressed up or going out on a date. Listen, I have like over 350 fragrances. I'm not sitting around waiting just to go on dates to wear a fragrance. Fragrances are made to be wear, not sitting on shelves. I wear this whenever I want to feel like a boss. Now, people have compared it to Rocha's Moustache. Moustache ain't Tuxedo. I'm just gonna be frank with you. Are they similar enough? Yes. Does it give you a vibe? Yes. Is it Tuxedo? No. This transition's different, and I get a lot of patchouli out of this. I get more cedar out of this, and the patchouli is just, it ain't up to my standards when it comes, if I was gonna judge on a patchouli standard, which is why this isn't even in the list. But coming in at number 6, YSL Tuxedo. Coming in number 5 is most people grails. It's just not a grail for me, but this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance, a delicious fragrance, a compliment getting fragrance, a fall and winter king of a fragrance. That is coming from the house of Jovoy, and that is Psychedelic. This, I almost don't really want to even call this a patchouli fragrance. This is a chocolate fragrance, and that comes from the actual patchouli. I get this almost powdery, rich denseness of chocolate. I get a almondy, nutty nuance. I don't know where that's coming from. It's woody, it's ambery, very resinous. Would I recommend somebody just getting into patchouli, going after this or sampling? Well, sample everything. Buying this, only if you don't mind smelling like chocolate. If you don't like gourmands and you think that's too, this ain't for you. Something like Patchouli Kozha would probably be for you, but great fragrance nonetheless. Coming in number 5 is Jovoy Psychedelic. Coming in number 4 is one of the most elegant fragrances I own within my collection. It is a year-round fragrance. It is a unisex fragrance. Coming from the house of Chanel, that's Coromandel Eau de Parfum. This is a beauty. You get that resinous, ambery, chocolatey patchouli, but you get white chocolate instead of dark chocolate, which is a little bit more milky and sensual. And you get this the neroli that adds with the powdery florals from the orris and the rose inside that just makes this clean, yet elegant, yet rich. The transition in this is absolutely superb. Chanel is a top house for a reason. Now, before anybody asks, yes, I have Alexandria's fragrances China Fair, which is a clone of this. I'm not gonna lie to you, this ain't this. This may be about 70, maybe 80%, but it doesn't hardly transition like this. The sensualness of the musk that Chanel used cannot be duplicated. It just can't. The citruses taste so succulent and juicy, cannot be duplicated. Now, this is a little bit stronger, but stronger, I don't really see that to be better. The lightness and the way it flows is what makes this what it is. Now, if you're not sure and you don't want to spend the big ducats, sample this. This is a good alternative. That's what I did. I had this first before I had this. So I'm not knocking on this. This is a good alternative. If it's winter time and I don't want to use this up, I will go ham with this. It still gives you the same vibe, but it's not the same. Coming in at number 4, Chanel Coromandel. Coming in at number 3 is a delicious winter beast of a fragrance. I don't really know if I want to call this a patchouli fragrance or an amber fragrance. That comes from the house of Profumum Roma, and that's patchouli. This fragrance, you don't need a lot of sprays. It's going to work. The see y'all just crazy. It's the dark, resinous, incensey, myrrh. You get that beautiful just amber. When you think of amber, fragrances like rich and smoky, you get that in here. You get creamy, smooth sandalwood in a nice chocolatey patchouli. Nothing else needs to be said about this. This performs is a winter beast. Is it unisex? if you like patchouli, would I recommend somebody just getting into patchouli to try this? If you really like resinous, incensey fragrances, yeah, I would recommend it. If not, this is a grown man's fragrance. Again, a lot of these, this ain't for you 20-year-olds. It's just not. Coming in at number 3, and that's from Profumum Roma, and that's patchouli. Number 2 is an incredible, opulent, boss fragrance. That's coming from the house of Xerjoff, and that's Xerjoff Richwood. Now, this is expensive, but this is worth the price of admission. You get hit with that bright citrus up top, creamy Mysore sandalwood, a fresh blooming rose. The patchouli in this is like it was at the grocery store in the aisle of the greens. And you know how you get your greens, and some grocery stores have the sprinkler on the timer where it's just, you know, sprinkling the greens to keep them fresh. And then you took those greens, you let it air out, got the water off of it, let it set, and you just smelt patchouli. That's what I imagine this to smell like the purest, greenest form of patchouli with no dirt and no stink to it. And it's resinous. 10 out of 10 fragrance. Now, before anybody asks, I have Valley of the Kings, and I'm not going to do a comparison, but this ain't this. This may be 65% of this. You cannot duplicate Mysore sandalwood. You can't. When you smell a Mysore sandalwood fragrance and you smell something that's not, you will know. I mean, you just can't. Is it an alternative? Yeah, a little bit. It's a solid alternative. I can see why people say that this is also inspired by Chanel's Coromandel, but this isn't chocolatey. This is chocolatey. This is more ambery than this, and this has sandalwood. This don't. That's how I would say these are totally different. So it's not redundant to own both of these. So anyway, coming in at number 2 is Xerjoff Richwood. Coming in at number 1. And the most exquisite patchouli I've ever put my nose on. This is my grail. This is the patchouli I judge all other patchoulis by. And this is coming from the house of Oriza, Legrand, and that is Oriza. People. Oh, man. Okay, this is chocolatey, ambery, resinous, smoky, little dirty and soily patchouli, some leather, and it's boozy with the cognac accord. So it's chocolatey, ambery, resinous, woody, leathery, boozy. Sign me up, man. This is a mature fragrance. This is a grown man's fragrance. Is it unisex? If you're a woman who like that composition I just named off, by all means, sure, try it out. See if it works for you and your skin. See what you like to wear. A lot of women actually like wearing men-marketed fragrances, so I'm not going to tell you what not to wear. Y'all know me, I don't see gender in fragrances, but this is the most exquisite, best-smelling fragrance I ever, from a patchouli standpoint, that I've ever smelt. This is the grail. If I had to get rid of all my patchoulis and only could pick one, I would probably, well, let me not go too far because Tuxedo is just on a whole nother level. And that's a more wearable, but just judging it on a patchouli fragrance, this is king of patchouli fragrances. Hands down, don't at me. Coming from the house of Oriza Legrand, that is Oriza. So this was a longer video. It was 15 of my favorite patchouli fragrances within my collection. Listen, I like to give y'all little descriptions. I'm gonna try to make these videos quicker, but it is what it is. I'm trying my best. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on IG. The link will be in the description. If you have any questions, that's a good place to also reach me. So I'm gonna leave you the way I greeted you, and that's in universal language of peace.